Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the most decorated female swimmer in Olympic history, Katie Ledecky. Listen, I can't thank you enough for doing this. I know how busy you are. You're just an amazing, amazing athlete, but you're an amazing human being, and I also want to make sure that that shows, and you giving back of your time today to be with us and all of our Catholic Health leadership team, our Catholic high schools, all these young, amazing people, many of whom are swimmers. I'm just so grateful. So thanks for being here today.
No, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful room, and I'm so excited to be here. And I went to Catholic school, so I remember great experiences like this as well. And thank you to the bishop for the beautiful prayer, and to everyone that's here today.
Oh, it's great. It's great to have you with us. So let's get into talking a little bit about background and early inspiration. Such an inspiring career. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Bethesda, Maryland, which is right outside of Washington, D.C. And I started swimming when I was 6 years old. My mom swam in college, and she was sort of the first one to teach me how to swim. She knew the importance of learning how to swim. And then my brother and I really wanted to take it to the next level, so to speak, and join a swim team. So we started swimming in a summer league. The team was called the Palisades Porpoises, and we loved it from that first summer. So I was 6 years old, my brother was 9, and that fall we wanted to start swimming year-round as well. So we started that. I played some other sports until I was about 10 or 11, and then I started to realize that I was choosing swim practice over some of those other sports when they were at conflicting times.
Right, because you have to choose, right? And boy, you took it to the next level, I'd say. I'll tell you that much. So to your point, when did you start then thinking, hey, let me focus on swimming? When did competitive swimming really, call you to say, this is really what I'm going to pursue?
Well, I broke my arm in 4th grade playing
Ouch.
Basketball in gym class, maybe a little too competitive. I slipped and someone fell on top of me. And I think that was a turning point for me, because I would put a plastic bag over my green cast just to be able to kick on a kickboard for 5-6 weeks. And I think during that time I realized how much I love swimming, that I really wanted to stay in the water during that time. And so at that point I started shifting away from basketball and soccer and putting a little more into swimming.
Diving into the pool.
Yeah.
Right? Wow. Really, really impressive. And, talking about next steps, right? And you made your Olympic debut in London, correct, in 2012. You were just 15 years old. And you shocked the world by winning the 800-meter freestyle gold. Since then, you've built a career that's truly unprecedented. How do you stay motivated through all of that? I mean, it's a lot of challenge, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. The saying, it's not just it's a sprint, but it's also a marathon. How do you balance all that?
Well, I would say when I first started swimming, I really didn't expect I would even make it to the Olympic level. So once I did, and once I won that first gold medal, it was really inspiring to me. I wanted to get back to that position. I wanted to represent the United States at that level again and again. And so I was very motivated after that first gold medal to set my next goal. And my next goal was to make it to the World Championships the following year and to break a world record. And it kind of just spiraled like that each and every year, where
Amazing.
I would go to the big competition and then set my next goal. And I'm 28 now, so I've been doing it a while, and I'm hoping to compete in 2028 in LA. That would be my 5th Olympics, so competing on home soil would be incredible, and I just try to take it one step at a time.
Yeah, and we're all rooting for you, and I'll tell you, we're going to all be there for you in 28.
Thank you.
We would not miss it.
I
hope we're all going to go and support Katie.
The Olympic experience is pretty neat, so I hope maybe some of you will get to compete in it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, that's why you're here, right? To be inspired. And now you mentioned something really important, which I think it's really critical to talk about with the kids. You talk about goal setting, right? We do this every year. I do this. You do it. And you talked about setting your goals and how do you go forward. Were you always a goal setter? Was that part of your DNA and how you just approach things in life?
I have always been a goal setter. When I was really little, when I was an 8 and under in swimming, I would write down my goals and I would call them want times. I wouldn't call them goal times for some reason. I thought it was special to have its own name. And I would write down the times, and after each competition, I would go back and look at the piece of paper and do the math and figure out how many hundredths of a second or how many seconds I beat the want time by, or how far away I was from it, and I would keep those papers and have them for the next meet as well. And so I kind of developed that habit early on and have continued to set those time-based goals. I think that's something that attracted me to the sport of swimming as well, the kind of individual nature of it, where you have control of your time and what you see on the scoreboard through your hard work at practice, and it's kind of cut and dry. You either improved your time or you didn't, and you can make different changes to your technique or your training and see how that impacts the result on the scoreboard. There are no judges, there are no teammates, though I do rely a lot on my teammates, my training partners. I love the relays, but for the most part, you're in control of your outcome.
It's you in the pool, right? And so would you give the same advice to the young women and men who are with us today about how you set goals and continue to push yourself and to track on those and incremental improvement? We have a saying in healthcare, we believe in relentless incrementalism, and just keep chipping away and being resilient and working hard to achieve those goals. Do you have any advice for the folks here today on goal setting?
Sure, yeah. I think it's really fun to set a really big, exciting, almost scary goal. And that goal might seem really far-fetched. And some of the goals that I set are for 3-4 years away from now. The Olympics, as I said, are in 2028. That's a few years away. But I set smaller goals before that and things to work toward. And because swimming is a time-based sport, you sometimes do see the result on the scoreboard that you want, the improvement, and sometimes you don't. I mean, I can tell the story of this year. I broke my own world record in the 800 freestyle back in May, and that was a record that I had set back in 2016.
Wow.
So it was 9 years between those two records, and so it really is sometimes that you have to play the long game and just trust the process and trust your coaches, trust your teammates, the people around you. And I think you can apply that to things outside of sport as well. Look to your mentors, whether that's your teachers, your fellow classmates, older students, your family members, whoever it might be that supports you in your pursuits. I think those people will support you in your goals, whether they're the really far-fetched goals or the long-term goals or the short-term goals as well.
I love that. It's a combination, right, of the short game and the long game, having the right people around you. I mean, you have an incredible family, you have an incredible coaching team, and your passion, drive, and commitment is evident in everything you do. Let's talk about being inspirational. To your point, when you think about those big goals, or we call them the BHAG, right? The big, hairy, audacious goal, right? Way out there. How do you navigate to that? Sometimes we set these goals and you say, wow, this could be really aspirational, but I believe I can achieve it with doing these things. Do you have advice on that, really achieving that top goal?
I think you really just have to put in the work.
Yeah.
You really have to put in the work and believe that, again, the people around you are going to help you get there. So I'm very reliant on my coaches that they'll push me and support me and help me through any of the ups and the downs along the journey. And then I also just remember back when I first started swimming, how much I fell in love with the sport and how much joy I get from the sport.
Yes.
And I really feel like I almost love it more and more each year, just the different challenges, the different things that I learn, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. I didn't get into the sport to become an Olympic gold medalist. I got into the sport for fun because it's a great activity to meet new friends, to just be healthy, all those things. And I can now say that I have friends from all over the world. I've had these experiences that I never imagined I would have. So I think sometimes your passions and pursuits can snowball into something much bigger than you might even expect today. So you never know where things might take you. It might take you around the world, might introduce you to some of your best friends down the road, things like that. So I always try to remember that and remember that 6-year-old that started to swim and how she never would have expected to have the opportunities that I've had today.
It's beautiful. I can still see the joy and passion when you speak to your time learning about becoming a swimmer and committing to it and realizing, it was your passion. So many amazing moments. You mentioned when you broke your pre-existing record time-wise, and so many amazing accomplishments in your career and more to come. What stands out to you most up to this point? Is there a defining moment in your career up till now where you say, wow, that was really amazing and stood out for me as an amazing accomplishment? I know this one's going to be hard for you because you're so humble and you don't like to speak to it. But
I think each Olympics has its own story attached to it. London, the first Olympics, was really special. Again, nobody really expected that from me, and so just to have that first experience of winning a gold medal, doing it for your country, all of those things, it was amazing. It felt like I was living in a dream. And then Rio in 2016, I had some more expectations on me. I had more events that I was competing in. So just navigating all of that and having the support team around me through that really helped me. And then I went to college a few years later, well, more than a few years later because the pandemic even delayed it. We had the Olympics in Tokyo in 2021. That was completely different. We didn't have any fans or family in the stands. It was an extra year of training to prepare for that. I'm sure everyone has their own story during that time, but all of the Olympic athletes, we had to train an extra year for those goals that we were working toward, and I was very happy with how my Tokyo Olympics went, but it was very different from the other 3 Olympics I'd been to. And then Paris was incredible. Loved the city. Got to spend some time after my racing to go to some of the other Olympic events, which I had never done. And I was also really happy with my performances there. And you might see I have this. Do you guys know what this is?
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is a sock. It hasn't been washed actually in a year or two. Because it's what I keep this in.
Wow.
So this is one of the medals from Paris. I can tell you which one it is because the event is on the edge. This is the 1500 free gold medal. Everyone kind of likes the medal breakdown. There is a piece of the Eiffel Tower on the back of it, which is really neat. As I said, the event is on the edge. It's in French. The front of the medal, it's the Greek goddess Nike with the Acropolis, and then that's the same on the front as all the other Olympic medals that I have, but Paris added the Eiffel Tower on the other side of the Acropolis. So do you want to feel how heavy it is and report to everyone? I think you've
get
seen
to touch
before.
it?
Yeah,
yes, oh my goodness.
It's always a bit of a shock.
Wow. And you have this around your neck. Yeah. Wow, it is heavy. It's beautiful and so well deserved. Amazing accomplishment. And is there a reason you don't wash the sock? Is that good luck? Like you just leave it?
It's just been protecting the medal for a year and a half.
And so maybe it's a good luck piece.
Well, I brought about 10 pairs of these socks to Paris, and I wore 6 of them. And during the meet, I like to be patriotic when I walk out for the races, but the other 4 pairs I kept for the medals.
Thank you for sharing this.
Became my medal holders.
This is amazing. So I have a feeling, and we still have a lot to go to get through, but your amazing story and your work today is going to inspire at least somebody else in this audience to chase Olympic gold, right?
Yeah.
How amazing. Woo!
I'll just put it on.
Put it on. There we go. So really thinking about all you've accomplished and all that you're going to still accomplish, it's just truly remarkable. And I'm looking out in the audience at all these amazing next generation of leaders and women and men and undergoing Catholic school education like we both did. We talked about this before. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. And I know even when I was in school, it was hard thinking about how do you balance all this, right? You know, and I'm sure so many of the young women and men up top here today are saying, boy, it's a lot, right? I love what I do. I'm sure, and we'll hear from some of the questions later, passionate swimmers or other athletes, but trying to balance school, academics, work life, it's a lot. And the kids today, they balance so much between all this. How did you personally find balance in school, right? I mean, I know how you're passionate, you found the pool and even wrapping your cast and jumping in and swimming, but you're also a great, student and great college career, all this. How did you balance all this, Katie?
Well, it's a learning process. I think you have to learn how to balance things. I mean, there are so many things that you can do when you're in high school and college, so many activities, so many sports, so many things you want to do with your friends. And so I really just had to be pretty disciplined with my schoolwork. I had to look ahead a lot with swimming. If I knew I had a swim meet in 2 weeks, then okay, maybe this weekend I need to really get ahead on my homework so that I can start getting to bed earlier and things like that. And I would have early morning practice. And so it was a lot of looking ahead and making sure I was being able to do all the things I needed to do to achieve my goals in the pool and also in the classroom. I had great family support, great support from my friends. My friends were always very understanding if I couldn't get to a birthday party or something like that, but very supportive of my swimming and all of that. So I think I learned a lot during high school how to manage that, and that prepared me well for college. And actually, I think in some ways college is maybe a little bit easier than high school in that you get to choose your schedule in college, what times you're taking your classes. I would actually have time for a quick nap sometimes in the middle of the day in college versus high school where I was swimming in the morning, at school all day, swimming again in the afternoon, home, dinner, homework, all that. So there's you have some more free time in the middle of the day in college if you work your schedule that way. So
very, very true. And balancing it, right? So as you said, it's all about balancing between what you have to commit to for your academics, for your personal life, for your sport, and to balance through all of that. I think that's just great advice, and it's advice that I know will be taken up by everybody here because you're all doing the same thing, right? You're trying to do well in school, and you're focusing on perhaps a sport that you're passionate about. And I think it's important to also realize, no one's perfect, right? And we all have challenges that we work through. Maybe we didn't perform as well in one thing, but it's okay. Just keep going, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, there are definitely ups and downs through any sport pursuits or any subject in school. I mean, I didn't ace every single test, but there are just things that you can always learn from. And even my very best races in the pool, there are little fine details that I'm always looking to improve on. And that's why I'm able to take things to the next level, because I'm never satisfied with a performance. I'm always looking for how I can improve. And I think that's important. I think you have to just continue to look forward and continue to try to get better. And I think in terms of balancing, that balancing act might not always feel perfect. There might be something pulling you in one direction, or you might feel like you're not doing enough of this or enough of that, or you want to do this, you want to do that. So I think it's important to just prioritize what are your biggest goals at the current moment, and put a little bit of extra into that, but then also try to do a little bit of the other things. It's never going to be an equal balance. If you think of school, sport, or your activity that you're interested in, maybe it's an instrument that you play, or maybe you're in band, or you're in some club, and then social life. You know, those three things, they're never going to be 33%, 33%, 33%. But if you can prioritize the 2 or 2.5 that you really know you need to put some extra work into, I think you'll find that you'll find it kind of a happy medium for all of it.
I think that's fantastic advice about how to balance and pivot and focus in some areas, and then also give yourself a little bit of a break too sometimes when you need it. You know, I think critically important. And for what you're doing at the level you're competing, boy, you know, it could be very stressful, right? I mean, you're competing at the very, very tip of the spear, so to speak. And how do you personally, you know, handle the pressure before a big race? Is there a certain thing that you do to get yourself in a mindset to be focused and be committed? I mean, I'm sure there's some little bit of nervousness. We all get that. How do you manage that and work through that?
Yeah, the nerves don't go away because I still really care about my performance, and I think the nerves are a sign that you care about something. So I still get nervous, but I think the biggest thing I probably do is one, stick to a routine, so I have the same sort of warm-up routine before each of my races. And then 2, I've kept journals since I was 14 years old that basically have all of my practices every day, and I have, you know, the different swim sets that I'm doing and times and this and that, but then also some other notes just about how I'm feeling, how I'm doing. And usually before a really big meet, I'll look back at my journal from that year, and that gives me a lot of confidence because I can look and see that I've done all of these really great practices, I've put in all the work, and I've done everything that I could possibly do to prepare myself for this moment that's coming up. So I think that's what puts me in the right mindset and calms any nerves and gets me excited more than anything.
I think that's great advice. Anybody out there journal? You'll journal, take some notes? Yes? Excellent. It's great advice.
Yeah,
because
give it a shot.
Give it a shot. It really will help because then you have a framing point to look back on to see how you're doing and then go ahead. I think that's just fantastic advice. I want to pivot a little bit into an area that I'm very passionate about, which is health and wellness and thinking about, you know, you mentioned about time management and, you know, the importance of resting your body. I can't imagine, you know, what you put your body through and the training that you do. How important is rest to you, and how do you balance both the physical, the mental challenges along all the training? You know, what do you do to kind of stay balanced in that space?
Yeah, it's really important, and I think it's something I've realized more and more as I've gotten older as well, how important that area is. I think, you know, I spend about 20 to 25 hours a week in the pool training, and I spend another probably 5-6 hours in the gym a week training. And all of those hours are very important, and that sounds like a lot of time, but really it's the hours away from the pool and away from the gym that are just as important. I consider those hours part of my training as well, because if I'm not doing the things I need to do outside of the pool or outside of the gym, then I'm not going to be able to be at my best when I am physically doing the work. So I make sure that I'm sleeping a lot at night, make sure I take a nap during the day if I have a couple practices that day or if I need the extra rest. I eat pretty well, you know, everything balanced. I have a cheat meal every now and then. I treat myself. You can do that. But I eat well, and I just try to overall take care of my body and get proper rest.
It's so important. We talk a lot about food as medicine, and what you fuel your body with is so critically important. So giving it the right nutrients, eating well. Obviously, you're training close to 40 hours a week. I mean, that's probably more than that even. That's a lot on your body. Giving your body the rest it needs to recover, and sleep critically important in that aspect. So I think, you know, that full spectrum approach to caring for your body, not just what you're training, but outside, giving it what it needs to recover and rest, especially through stressful situations, right? I mean, it's critically important that you're giving your body everything it needs.
Yeah, no, I have to, make sure I'm getting enough protein, enough carbs, and growing up, my parents helped a lot with that. My mom was a really good cook, so I pretty much just ate whatever my mom would give me. And then when I got to college, I had to kind of take ownership of that, and it's something that I actually really enjoy now. I cook for myself, and I enjoy that, and enjoy trying new things, and have kind of taken over that part of the process.
That's great. So important. Now, we probably didn't give you the most healthiest breakfast this morning, but
no, it was good. I mean, I swam 8,000 yards this morning, so I needed a good bacon, egg, and cheese.
All
from
right.
Long Island.
Sometimes everybody needs a good Long Island bacon, egg, and cheese, right? That's so good. You have fun in the pool, though, too, right? I mean, I see how you light up when you talk about swimming, and the training's hard, no question about it. But you still, I can tell, you love being in the pool and love what you're doing. How do you have fun in the pool?
Well, I think I love the training more than I even love the racing. I have really great teammates, and some of them are world record holders and gold medalists and Olympians, but we goof off. I mean, we trash talk each other. We have music on at practice and are just giving each other hard times about various things. So there's a lot of laughing. It's not just straight swimming back and forth for 2 hours. It's a lot of chatting and just encouraging each other as well. That's how we do it. Even if it's not a "come on, Katie" or "let's go," that kind of thing. Just their goofy, fun presence helps me be at my best and helps me enjoy going to the pool every day, which I think is important. And I think I realize that I'm not going to have my best training session every single day of every week, but on those bad days, if I can be a fun presence at the pool, then I'm helping my teammates, and in turn, that's going to help me someday. So it's I think that's another important thing just to remember that.
It's so awesome. And so what a great relationship you have with your teammates and close sets of friends, right? How important are those relationships around you, right? For everything that you're working through. Really important. You've got great people surrounding you. We talked about your amazing family, but it sounds like you've got a great group of friends on your team, and everybody still likes to have a little bit of fun and poke at each other. That has to help.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I was talking about swimming being a pretty individual sport earlier, but it's pretty hard to just do it by yourself. It's a lot more fun to do it with teammates and to be around people that are going through the same things or pursuing the same things. They have those same long-term goals, and you just feel like you're on the same path as these people. So it's great to be around people like that. I've put myself in a few different environments at different training locations that have all had that type of environment. So I feel very lucky to have had that.
That's great. That's great. So we talked about body and mind. Let's talk about spirit and faith a little bit as well. Now, I understand you're a graduate of the Stone Ridge School of the Sacred Heart. Is that correct? Yes?
That's where I went to high school.
That's wonderful.
9th through 12th, and then I went to Little Flower School from pre-K through 8th.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we have really, I think, 11 of our Long Island Catholic high schools here today. So again, I think really strong connection there. Let's talk a little bit about what role faith plays in your commitment to sports and maintaining balance. And I know we've had some of this conversation before. I think it's critically important. What are your thoughts on that? How do you maintain balance with that, with faith?
Yeah, my faith has always been very important to me and important to my family, and I think I've had so many great role models at the Catholic schools that I went to, the Immaculate Heart of Mary Sisters at Little Flower School, the Sacred Heart community that I got to know during high school. I mean, I was in London at my first Olympics. It was right after my freshman year at Stone Ridge, and I received a note the day before my race in London from the Sacred Heart Sisters in Roehampton, England, that they sent this note to the Olympic Village somehow. And my guess is they may have done the same thing for all of the Sacred Heart network athletes at the Olympics. But just to receive that note, it really opened my eyes to that community and how supportive that community was. And I think that speaks to just the faith community as a whole too, just the support that I received from the school that I went pre-K through 8th, and then 9 to 12. Just knowing that I had their support and prayers and cheers meant so much to me, and I think my faith has always kept me grounded and kept things in perspective, and just makes me feel like I belong to such a great community, and
and you do, and you know, we have the founding sisters as well for Catholic Health, and I still get inspirational notes and messages both from our bishop and also from our founding sisters. So they always seem to come at the right time, right before a major event or a budget or something else that we're working on. It really always comes at the right time, and I share your same sense of passion and commitment to faith, and it's how I start and end each day, and that's why I'm so excited about what we're doing, because when I first had the privilege to meet you, Katie was a keynote speaker at a national healthcare conference event regarding high reliability, quality, and safety. And the moment I met you, I just connected. I said, wow, what an amazing human being. We connected. We talked a little bit about health and wellness. And that's why I am so thankful, truly from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of all of us, that you've agreed to come on board. And in your role as health and wellness ambassador at Catholic Health, I think it's just so important, and it aligns with your personal values, your faith, ours, what we're doing to try to make our communities healthier. Can you talk about what that means to you?
Yeah, it means a lot. And, I should have talked earlier about some of my New York roots as well. My dad and uncle, who are here today, they grew up in Bayside, Queens. And so just New York, Long Island, the community here means a lot to me. My uncle is one of the owners of the Islanders. Do we have any Islanders fans here?
Woo!
Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. I think we have more Islanders fans here than swimmers.
Yeah.
It's great to be connected with this community, and I think I just really love all the messaging and the support that Catholic Health gives to this community, and the resources that you provide, and the opportunities, and of course the healthcare as well. So just to help spread that message and be a voice for healthy living, it's such a great match, and I'm happy that this relationship has brought me here today, and we have a lot more.
Yes, we do.
On the horizon, so it's exciting.
Yes, we do. We're so thrilled, and I'll tell you, we say this all the time. You know, we really are committed to helping people live their healthiest lives, and you're just such a great example of that. Every time your commercial airs and people see you in the pool and see the work that you're doing, I get more emails in my inbox and how inspired they are, and to say, wow, how exciting. And I think there's just so much great work ahead that we'll do together. So we are equally committed and excited about this relationship. We're going to do a lot of good, Katie. We're going to help a lot of people live their best and healthiest lives. So very, very exciting. One more message for the students that I want to share. We talked about setting goals, staying balanced. Is there anything that you, given what we just talked about in this segment, would like to leave them in terms of a message about how to wrap it all together, how to stay balanced, how to make sure that they're staying well in all aspects of their life, given the stresses and everything? Because so many, especially coming out of COVID, you mentioned that earlier, there's been a lot of stress, I think, on our youth, and that's why we're so fortunate with the Catholic schools here. They do such an amazing job with the kids. But any last piece of advice to give them, the students, about what we talked about?
Yeah, I think I would just encourage you that, if you found something that you're really, really passionate about, whether that's a sport, whether that's an activity, whether that's a subject in school, really do try to set some of those big, exciting, what did you call them earlier? Big, hairy, audacious goals?
Yeah,
there we
big, hairy,
go.
audacious
Okay,
goals.
so we got a new acronym.
Yeah.
Try to set those really big goals and pursue them, and I think you'll find that your school communities will support you in those goal pursuits, and I would encourage you to support each other as well. As I talked about just with teammates, I think it's really valuable when you have people supporting you and encouraging you, and whether that means you tell your best friend what your goal is, or you tell your parents what your goal is, or your teacher. I think having, one or two people that are kind of on the inside and know what you're pursuing, I think that's a recipe for success. So just find those things that really light you up and get you excited, and try to be the best that you can be at them. And as you said, it's not going to be perfect.
Right.
Not every day is going to be great, but I bet there's one thing you can do each day that is great, and it can be really, really small. In my journal, my coach, when I was 14 years old, when he made me start journaling, he made me write down something special I did every day. So something special. And it could be as small as I did one dolphin kick off every wall in swimming, which that's not a lot. But if I was consistent with it, then that's a good thing that I did that day. Or it can be as big as I went a best time today, or I did something in practice that I've never, ever done before. But both of those things are something special. And so I think if you can walk away from each day feeling like you did something special, you'll feel pretty good at the end of the day.
That is amazing advice. And just think about it. One small thing you do special leads to more, and accomplishing those goals, the early goals, and then the big, hairy, audacious goals as well. Just great advice, Katie. Let's look ahead, excitingly. Los Angeles 2028. At the 2025 World Aquatics Championships in Singapore this past August, you won gold in that 800-meter freestyle, your 7th consecutive world title in that event. Next up, we were talking a little bit about this, 2028 Summer Olympics in LA. That will be the first games on U.S. soil, I believe, since '96, right?
I think so, yeah.
That's exciting. How special would it be for you to compete for Team USA at home in front of your American fans?
It would be really exciting. I mean, I kind of light up when I get to talk about it, just thinking about it, and I think that's something that motivates me every day in practice. I mean, it's not something that I'm trying to overwhelm myself with, because you don't want to just be thinking about it constantly. But whenever I do need an extra little spark, I think of that. I visualize that arena and just how many American fans will be there, and the swimming is going to be in SoFi Stadium, which is a football stadium. So it'll just be huge, and I think I'm excited that so many Americans will get the opportunity to be at the Olympics and be in that environment, because it is a pretty special place, even as a spectator. I think you kind of feel like you're in this bubble for a few weeks, at least as an athlete. But as a spectator, I think you get to witness so many great moments. And I think what I've taken away from the Olympic experience that I never would have expected is, that we all come from different backgrounds. We come from different countries. In the Olympic Village, they're all different shapes and sizes. There are speed walkers walking around the village. They do their training in the village, so you're sometimes dodging them. There's, people biking around the village. It's just everyone's in one place. And even though we all play different sports, do different sports, come from different backgrounds, have different families, all these things, there are so many things that are common among us. The emotions that we have when we win or when we lose, or when we see a teammate succeed. And that's special, just to be able to witness those things up close and see other people pursuing these goals. That goal setting, I think, is also a commonality that we share across cultures. So it's really a cultural experience as much as it is a sporting experience. And so just to think that so many Americans will get to experience that, whether they're an athlete or whether they're a spectator, that's really exciting to me.
Amazing. And your whole Catholic Health family is going to be there with you when you qualify and go and compete, because it's going to happen.
Well, thanks.
So I know how important goal setting is. We talked a lot about that. So with that in mind, getting to LA in 28, do you begin to create those goals and those steps to get you there? Is it that formalized, or is it just take it one step at a time and just sequentially move the ball downfield, so to speak?
It's one step at a time. I have that end goal in mind and some specific goals in mind for LA, but there's a lot between now and then. I have the Pan Pacific Championships this next summer. I have a World Championships in 2027. So there's a lot that I can work toward between now and 2028 that'll keep my mind off of just 2028. It's kind of nice to have those other things to work toward and try to use as stepping stones to LA. So yeah, it's one step at a time, 1 year at a time, 1 week at a time, just again, trying to get better each day, each week in any way that I can.
Well, the journey of 1,000 miles always starts with the first steps, and you are well along your way. So I know I speak for everyone here today. Like I told you, we're going to be cheering you on. We're so excited for you as we watch you make history again in LA. Truly transformational. And I think with some of the time we have left, we're very fortunate. Our students have submitted some questions.
Yeah,
which,
great.
if it's okay with you, may I
Sure.
ask some of the questions
of
from
course.
the student audience? All right, let's dive in. Okay. So this first one is from Meredith Kieran from St. Anthony's. I don't know if Meredith here. There she is. Hey! Okay. So Meredith asks, what did you wish you understood about balancing practice, recovery, and school when you were my age? Looking back now, what is one thing you would change about how you prepared for college swimming?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, we kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, just balancing everything. And I think through high school, as I said, I had that really great support from my family and friends. I actually didn't get my driver's license until after my freshman year of college. So my parents were driving me to swim practice every day in high school, bringing me breakfast in the car on the way to school, bringing me dinner on the way back from practice. So I think maybe one thing, if I don't really have any regrets, but I think one thing I wish I could have done, I don't know how you worded it, but you know, I always helped my mom out in the kitchen with different meals, but I wish I had paid a little more attention on some things so that I could have, you know, taken it up a little more quickly right from the start in the kitchen. But yeah, just like learning some of those recipes because my parents weren't with me in college and during the COVID years, especially when my family wouldn't visit quite as often. I was kind of solo and had to really provide for myself in that way. So I think there are just some little things that you maybe take for granted in high school, some of that support that you have from your family that you kind of have to take ownership of once you're in college. So maybe all you high school students or as you get closer to your senior year, start thinking of those things that you might be reliant on others for that you're going to have to do yourself once you get to college and beyond.
It's great advice. Is there a favorite mom dish, by the way, that you like, recipe-wise?
Oh, well, you know, we spent Thanksgiving up here in New York, so we didn't have the apple pie that my mom makes a great apple pie. Now, that's not something that I would be, you know, cooking every day for myself, but
I do love
I love the apple pie.
Yes, I've overdid the apple pie this weekend. I must admit it's. So next question comes from Casey Dolan, who's in grade 12 at Holy Trinity. Casey, you here? I might be losing you in the lights.
Right here.
Oh, there we go. Great. Hey, so question is about burnout. Have you ever experienced it, and how did you overcome it?
I don't know if I ever experienced a huge burnout, so to speak. I never quit swimming for a period of time or something like that. But I've certainly gone through ups and downs with the sport in terms of periods of time where I didn't go best time for a period, or when I would maybe get a little frustrated that I wasn't seeing the result on the scoreboard that I wanted or expected. And I think, you know, sometimes it's just like that. I mean, we were talking about the Islanders the other day. I don't know how many of you have been following the Islanders, but it's like when you shoot the puck and you have more shots on goal than the other team, and you would think that you would win more games. You know, it's kind of like the same thing with swimming. Like you feel like you're putting in the work sometimes, but you're not necessarily seeing the result that you want. And I think you just have to keep at it, and trust the process, trust your coaches. I think whenever I feel like I'm not getting the result that I would expect, that's when I sit down with my coaches. We have a great conversation. It's never a downer or a tough conversation. It's always a looking forward conversation of, all right, you know, what are the things we can switch up here? What are the things I can do a little differently to try to change that end result or try to get that result that we're targeting? And I think having those conversations always really helps, whether that's with a coach, whether that's with family, whether that's with a friend. I think if you're frustrated with something, again, whether that's sport or anything else, a subject in school, anything, I think having someone you can turn to when things are a little tough is really valuable, and it's going to help you feel better.
And going to help you throughout life,
Yeah.
right? Really
Yeah.
great advice. Great advice. Anastasia Eastwood from St. Anthony's asks, what advice, is she here? Wait there. Hello. What advice do you have for someone who is trying to swim at the collegiate level, but only started swimming competitively freshman year in high school?
Well, I think that's awesome. I think, I mean, I think you can do it. I think it's definitely very possible, and I think, you know, just keep working hard and trying to get a little bit better each week. If you feel like you don't have time on your side, if that's what you're worried about, I think of all the days that you do have, and all the weeks you do have between freshman year and senior year. There are so many opportunities between now and then. So I would say don't think of it as a short period of time. Think of it as a long period of time. Think of it as all these days that you have to try to just get a little bit better. And I know of several, many, more than several, lots of swimmers in college that only started in high school. Even I think some Olympians and medalists that have started later that have gone on to have great success. So it's definitely possible. So
great advice. So it's never too late. You're in the right spot. Work hard. First one in, last one out, and keep committed, and great things will come. Great answer, Katie. Thank you. Next question comes from Emily Barkley from Our Lady of Peace School. I heard the giggles.
Emily?
Where are we?
Up top.
Up top.
I see a hand.
All right, great.
Wow, I didn't even realize it went all the way. Hey,
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Emily asks, when you were our age, did you ever imagine you'd be an Olympic gold medalist?
Well, what grade was she in? Does it say?
8th grade, soccer and volleyball.
8th grade. Well, as I said, when I started when I was 6, I really did not envision myself going to the Olympics. I thought it was this really, really far-fetched thing. I wasn't even interested in how you get there or qualify. But I started to work my way up, and I think I was in 8th grade when I qualified for Olympic trials.
Wow.
When I got the qualifying time. And I would say that's right around the time when I started thinking, maybe I have a shot at this. I didn't think it was a guarantee by any means. But I just, again, kept working my way toward the next goal. And once I had qualified for Olympic trials, the goal was to try to rise through the ranks to see how high I could get in the national rankings, because the top 2 swimmers in each event at Olympic trials get to go to the Olympics. So the Olympic trials were in 2012, it was after my freshman year of high school, the summer after, and I finished first in the 800 free. And my mom and dad always get asked, when did you know that your daughter was going to be an Olympian? And my mom always says when she touched the wall first at Olympic trials, because it's just never a guarantee. You never know. That in the U.S. especially, there's so many great swimmers, and it's really tough competition. So I don't know. Nobody really had expectations for me when I was 15, and that was a lot of fun just to go out there and qualify and then go win gold and all of that. That was fun.
And keep winning gold, and keep winning, and keep winning. Amazing, really amazing. Lucy Madison from St. Anthony's High School. Lucy, are you here? You're a senior. Yes, hi. Good morning. Okay, it may not be mom's apple pie, but Lucy wants to know, what is your go-to meal or snack before a big meet? Is there one? Do you carb up? Do you? Yeah.
No, well, I mean, it depends. So usually prelims for swimming, it's in the morning. So usually before the morning race, I'll have some eggs, toast, maybe some veggies in with the eggs. Pretty typical breakfast. And then before finals, which are in the evening, usually a little after dinner time, I like to have plain pasta with olive oil, Parmesan cheese, just very plain, good carbs, and I'll maybe have some fruit or an apple with it, banana. Distance race, I don't know if it's, you would know, but bananas help you not cramp.
That's right.
So, or at least, exactly. At least that's the thought that I have whenever I have one, that I'm not going to cramp because I had my banana. And so that's usually what I have.
It's great.
Nothing too special.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
But you, again, fueling your body. For what needs to happen.
Yes.
So just amazing. I used to do the same as you, but I don't burn the amount of calories that you burn, so I can't have the pasta with the olive oil anymore. But you burn it right off. Evan Hannaberry, is Evan here?
Yes. There he is.
Hey, all right. Okay. And you may have touched on this a little bit earlier, Katie, but Evan wants to know, and he's grade 8 from St. Agnes Cathedral School, is there a particular person who or someone that inspired you to be a swimmer?
Well, as I said earlier, my mom swam all the way through college, and she and her siblings all swam through high school and all of that. But then I really followed my older brother, Michael, into the sport. He really loved swimming as well as I did, but he really wanted to join the Palisades Porpoises, the summer team. And really, I think the main reason why we wanted to join the team was to make new friends and to experience what it was like to be on a swim team and learn all 4 strokes and just kind of experience that. And I don't think we really expected after that first summer that we would do it for as long as we did, or at least, I mean, I'm still doing it. Michael still swims. It's great exercise. I hope to be swimming into my 70s, 80s, 90s, who knows? So I think when I first started swimming, it was my older brother that I looked up to, and he worked really, really hard, and everything he did, he still works hard, and so was a really great role model both in swimming and in school. And then I would say, separate from family, there were a lot of really great female distance swimmers in the Maryland, Virginia, DC area that I looked up to that were Olympians, and so some of those first memories of getting to meet them and race against them were pretty special as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Michael, how about just giving a wave?
There
That's
he is.
Katie's brother, Michael. Beautiful family and wonderful support that you've had, and amazing career and story, and so much more to come. Last question from our students comes from another Katie, Katie King. Where's Katie?
Oh, there she is.
Hey. Okay. I think you touched a little bit on this as well, but Katie wants to know, what is your best strategy, staying calm, before high-pressure meets or events?
Yeah, we touched on that a bit earlier. I think the routine, so I've pretty much had the same warm-up with a few tweaks since I was probably 12 or 13 years old. And then the journaling, looking back at my journals and using that for confidence, I think really helps. So there are those two main things I would say. And then I would say just, some deep breaths, Hail Mary in the ready room. So at the swimming competitions, you usually have to report to what's called the ready room 20 minutes before the race. And it's really just 8 plastic chairs that are lined up elbow to elbow with your competitors, basically. Sometimes there's a little space in between them. But you're kind of just sitting in this blank room for 20 minutes. There's usually a TV. You can watch the races before you. But you're sitting there with your 7 other competitors in the room, and that can be a nerve-wracking period, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. Some people listen to music, some people stretch, some people chat with each other. I kind of just do a little bit of everything. I don't have one thing that I feel like I have to do. Sometimes I'll talk to a teammate or a competitor that I'm familiar with. But I kind of just let my mind wander. I think about the things I need to think about for the race, but I don't let it consume me. Because I think whenever I dive into the water for a race, I kind of go into autopilot. I have put in all the work, and I know how I need to carry out that race.
Great advice. So I believe we're at time. I have a little something for you that does not come anywhere near close to what's around your neck right now, but it's a little Catholic Health Challenge coin
thank you.
I want to give to you, Katie.
Cool.
And I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart and everyone here at Catholic Health for giving of your time today to be with all of our amazing Catholic high schoolers today. To share so much about who you are as a person. We always knew you as Olympic champion. Now we also know you as a person. And what a remarkable human being you are, a person strong in faith, an incredible athlete, an incredible steward to the community. We are so excited at Catholic Health to continue to work with you to improve the health and wellness of all the communities we serve. And I thank you for spending the time with us. Ladies and gentlemen,
thank you.
big round of applause for Olympic champion Katie Ledecky.
Thank you.